Hey, hi everyone. This is Unsolved. Thanks for today. Sorry, we're slightly faced a little bit of a technical issue, but all resolved and we're good to go. Today we have Rajiv with us. He's very interesting at WebSnap, and I think the first time I met at a weekly brainstorm, we were just on the chatting, and he said, "Hey, I'm building a link on the weekly brainstorm." Uh, and then I forgot the name of the site. I forgot his name, all of that. And I heard the weekly brainstorm, he was building something cool, right? And then, like last week, magically, WebSnap appeared on Unsolved, and he kind of added it there. And I was like, oh, thankfully, we can actually do this session. So this is. Let me tell you a little bit about the weekly brainstorm. We have tried a different formats. Typically we have a startup come over, share what they're doing, give you some context, maybe a product demo, and then they share some of the challenges that they're facing, right? And we as a community try to be the founders of this startup, right? Just for the next 30 minutes. If all of us were founders, then how would we think about how to help them succeed? Right? Like what would we do if we were in Rajiv's shoes, right? I mean, what would our next steps be? So that's broadly the context. And a lot of what we do here on the weekly brainstorm is mirrored on about the same activity happens on Unsolved, except that it happens in written form, right? So you can still go ahead, you can look at startups, you can see what they're doing, you can leave suggestions for them, you can kind of offer help if you'd like, all of that and more. And that's essentially what we enable on Unsolved, but in a written form. This we do once a week. We're able to bring over one startup and kind of have this conversation. We are also experimenting with new formats. Those who joined in last week would have seen that we tried an open mic session, right? We'll probably try a few more like that as we move along. But today, the stage is all Rajiv's to tell us what WebSnap is up to. And over to you, Rajiv.
Thanks. Uh, Thanks, Ishwar. Thanks for that lovely introduction. A little bit of introduction before I start. I would like to introduce, and first of all, thanks everyone who have joined on Saturday morning. And I didn't expect some of you to turn over. So I have been a professional UX designer for the last 6 years now, and I've been building web application and website for a long time. And this journey of WebSnap is, to be honest, somehow generated from the learnings. And I'll quickly share my screen to uh, let me know when my screen is visible to you all. Is it visible? Ishwar? Ishwar, I think your mic is in mute.
Hey, yeah. So I was just saying, for the folks out there, try and maximize your screen. That way, you would end up seeing whatever he's sharing on screen better. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try to maximize from here. And let's go there. Cool. Uh, So basically, let me first try to understand how many of you seen the last video today or tomorrow, yesterday, before this video conference. Just put it in your comments and little
You
bit.
mean
Let's
have you watched a video? Okay.
yeah. And why did you watch and what did you watch? How do I see the comments parallelly?
I think that's going to be a little tricky for you.
Hmm,
But so there's stand-up comedy, right? I did fitness. So there are a few folks who have done a few things. Yeah.
cool, cool. Just put your favorite YouTubers or any other favorite video creators and just small description uh, why is it your favorite one. Cool. Let's see.
Little tricky, Rajiv. Maybe you should continue. I mean,
Yeah. So I'll just
yeah.
continue with the core problem we are trying to solve with WebSnap. This product is around the video creators. The people whom we are building the solution for are mostly who build videos on YouTube or any other marketing channels to sales leads or something like that. The storytellers are there in the this kind of platform. There are product reviewers. There are research videographers. Then there are online tutorials. We have seen a lot of, like, by data I was reading somewhere, like a lot of developer learn their first coding just from YouTube. And potential video commerce brand is something that's what we are experimenting. That's another set of segment of video creators. So these are typically, when we talk about video creators, these are the typical video creators what we mean when we are segmenting our customers. And the problem with video creators or the persons who is building videos on any social platform is this thing is how do you build a meaningful relationship. So by meaningful I mean a profitable and a relationship which has a transactional. It is extremely hard for a video creators to build a relationship on YouTube or only any social platforms kind of like that. It requires time. It requires your audience to continuously watch your videos, to provide post watch material. So you might have seen a lot of YouTubers post links after on the description. Those are post watch materials. What do we say? That so that you provide some sort of value to the audience. And this doesn't stop on that platform. What we have noticed, a lot of YouTuber has created Telegram and WhatsApp groups to kind of keep the personal audience management. And this is how the YouTubers or the video creators are currently doing, which is a lot of pain points. So currently there are many platforms like Patreon, Dropbox, Instapage, or other website builders like Wix and all these OTT builders, which is quite expensive, by the way. And this entire experience, if you see, is broken from your entire core subject that was your video. So you have to go to Patreon to accept donation. So these are completely broken. Even Telegram and WhatsApp does a little bit of good in audience in terms of personal communication and audience engagement, but it is very, if like you need a lot of effort to continuously manage your audience contacts, and also it comes at a very later stage of your journey, like where you have your audience contacts, right? So with WebSnap, what we thought of, let's create your videos into an immersive interactive website, which you can publish it online. And instead of drag and drop, so I believe drag and drop is pretty 90s. Let's think of paste and preview. So paste and preview interface is what we're thinking of doing a patent around it, but that's a kind of thought. Paste and preview interface for the creators. So these creators are not designers, they are not developers, they are completely storytellers, marketers, and the brand, so that they can build a web or mobile application instantly. And there are obviously a lot of use cases around there. So what we have did so far, I'll show you. I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll show you directly the demo. Uh, can you all see the screen? Uh, I hope so.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Sure, sure. So this is basically websnap.com, where we built a POC kind of MVP, where you just need to do two things. One is, let me open it over here itself. Open a YouTube channel. Mm, I was just thinking it's all around Kangana. Okay, let's take Y Combinator. Uh, so basically, typically, this how a YouTube video channel looks like, but a lot of people, audience spends their time over here. So what we have built, if you see the channel URL, you copy the channel URL, paste the channel URL. So there are a lot of templates around it, which has different utilities, as I was mentioning. Uh, this is one which I'm going live with. You select a template. I think I've copied the wrong URL. Just let turn off my video. I need to. I think it's on my internet issues, which is running pretty slow.
Yeah, yeah, sure. You can just switch off video. It say I think there are some messages as well that your battery seems low as well. By the way,
Yeah, I plugged in my chargers.
cool. Okay.
Uh, so this is the channel ID that we copy. Passage. There seems to be some sort of internet issue from my side.
Do you have any preloaded pages that you have already created that makes it easier for us to check this out?
Yeah, in terms of experience, we do have. Just trying to.
Hey, by the way, someone, Swaminath has shared the URL for the Y Combinator channel on the chat. If you want, you can pick that up. A few people feel that the link that you've used is wrong.
Uh,
Okay. No, no, I think it's fine. The channel URL, I think you know it best, so just go ahead.
I think it's more some issues with our system. Yeah, the issue is with our system. So I'll just continue what we do. It's something loading in our backend system. Uh, Let me confirm. So
Uh,
basically, what we do, we turn it into a single page landing page.
Karan,
Just
I'm just wondering, have you managed to make it work on WebSnap? Then you can just come up and kind of share your screen if that works.
did anyone worked on WebSnap? Like, is there anyone on crowd who have managed to create it?
That's what I'm just checking, right? I'm trying to also kind of log in and see if that works. But
Either it's my internet issue or my our backend issue. Internet issue seems to be fine. But if anyone is there in the crowd who has already,
no, I'm trying as well. It's just showing as loading right now, right? It looks like Murphy has struck you, man.
we have this. We have few websites created on test.
Yeah, just that would be good because I think the objective of this is for people to understand what you're doing, right? I mean, so broadly, you're saying if you have a YouTube channel, you can get a website fairly easy, right? You just paste the link and get a website, but maybe it'll be easier if you showed us what that end product would look like.
So I have to just go back to our design in this scenario. Yes.
Kishan, if it's working for you, do you want to just raise your hand and come on stage and share your screen? Uh,
It worked for someone. What's the issue then? It has to work for me at least. But surely,
Maybe you just try another channel, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just try another channel, right? Rajiv, do you have any image which you can just show the final output by any chance?
yeah, sure. We have. I'll just log into my design.
Yeah, just kind of show folks, because I think right now it seems like it's down. Multiple people have tried. I have tried this long ago. When you showed it to me, it worked like a charm, right? So I think it's just stuff happens, shit happens. Yeah.
Look like two of them.
Okay, just for the benefit of the audience, while Rajiv is kind of doing this, right? When I tested the whole thing out, like maybe like a few months ago, actually, right? So I just shared, like, I have, there's a fitness channel that I sometimes use. So I put that out there, and it instantly generated a website for that channel. And from what I understand is, those videos can go behind the login system. Those can become, you can enable payments or subscription for that. Rajiv, correct me if I'm wrong at any point in time, right? This is my understanding, so I'm just kind of, while you're trying to bring up an image which is representative of the final website that you create, I just thought I'll try and take over and share a few things with the audience. And obviously the customer is someone who creates content on YouTube and who has a largish fan following. And the objective is, of course, to see if you can also leverage and take some of this content behind maybe a subscription paywall. Maybe it's a community, maybe it's a conversation that you want to create. If you're an educator, maybe you want to have some chat sessions with the folks that you're educating as well, right? So there may be different objectives for different folks. But I think one of the primary things is, once you have created a lot of content which is up there on YouTube, can you also put it down? Like sometimes fitness courses become like you have a 28-day course and a 30-day course and things like that, right? That comes to mind for me. So a lot of content could be free, but that 30-day course, which is kind of still hosted on YouTube, can go behind a paywall, which only folks who actually pay up and subscribe to that 30-day, transformational fitness regime kind of program can access. So yeah, so I think those were some of the objectives of the of what Rajiv is building, right?
Guys, yeah, yeah, Ishwar, go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
So I'll,
Ajay
I'll just
has
share my
provided a link.
screen.
Okay. I'm just going to share my screen. Ajay shared what he created on WebSnap. So he shared a screen. Rajiv, can you just comment if this was a dark theme screen?
Yes, 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 yes. This is a dark theme. I do got access to some of my. I think there's some issue with the AWS right now. Uh, that what I got the update. I'll share the design as of now. But it, you guys can feel free to explore the product after maybe after some time. And this is something basically what you Ishwar is sharing is a simple landing page that we have done as a POC. And Ishwar, can I share my screen? Let me go
Yeah, yeah,
through.
yeah. Sure, sure, sure. I was just trying to. I've stopped sharing. You can go ahead.
And thanks, thanks. Uh, so So this is by the dark theme. There are a lot of themes we already have. This is what happens if you open a beta, the white one. If, guys, can you share the screen? See the screen, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We can.
So this is Ronnie and Barty, a famous YouTuber. The journey started with them, and we created a seamless experience, kind of not an I'll not say typical OTT, but a simple experience for your audience, so that they don't get lost in other videos in the YouTube, right? So they have pretty good websites, pretty good videos also. And this is another template. So we do have internally built a lot of template. This is more of like a Netflix kind of experience, and where you can create channels, and typically how you manage content in your YouTube. We also have a dashboard where you manage different cataloging system. But the initial experience that I wanted to show you, somehow went on a toss today. It works seamlessly the moment you paste a YouTube channel. We do through the APIs. We pull all the content. So think of it like a reverse approach to how the currently website industry works, where the designer designs a template with some lorem ipsum things, and then they wait for the content. And when the content comes, it seems like it doesn't fit in there, and which is a typical like 60-70% story in most of the website development cases, what I have seen from my experiences. So we thought of reverse engineer this thing. Let's take the content source first and design templates according to that. So this is another template that we are building, which is again some things which are new released. We have categories by duration and all. So this is a channel for OK Tested. We are exploring that. So let's go back to our deck.
Rajiv?
Uh,
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. I thought we lost you.
Okay. So going back to our deck, so there is one interesting thing as we are exploring with our customers or potential customers. We have created something where you can take orders from your video, and is the screen visible, right? The This is another browser, I think.
Right now, it's a blank screen.
How do I share
Just
your
turn on
invite?
screen sharing again.
Okay. Uh, can you see?
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, we can see
So
it.
this is not there in the live. This is what we are experimenting with one of our initial potential customer. Turning your videos into an order page. A lot of videos, and this is what we are thinking of as a plug and play. You can put an order form, you can put a poll form, something contextual to your videos, and this all you have to manage through your dashboard, and where you can just take orders. It could be so this is what similar to what I was talking about, the video commerce initially in the customer segment, where small retailers and brands are exploring how to sell products on videos, and can they do it or not. So this is typically what we have built so far in the last 4 months. And to date, we are only a 3-member team, a designer, uh, an engineer, and also another engineer. So few early adopters whom we have, they are not friends and families. One is a T-series artist whom we got in touch with through connections, and we have built sites, a portfolio kind of website for that. The black version one came around after we had a conversation with her. So yeah, we have also designed few sector-based video apps. So video apps is basically where you can change your YouTube channel to some sort of application, like the lead generation application or online classes application. The one that I've shown you is more around lead generation, and we are looking forward. So the current challenges we have is how to organically reach to some prospective video creators and get insights from them, and obviously user feedbacks. And how do we build a paste and preview kind of experience instead of drag and drop? So over to you all audience. Feel free to explore WebSnap at your own browser and ping me in any social channel. I am there, like Biswas X Rajiv.
Hey Rajiv,
Feel
there are a few questions for you, right? So I'll just take them one by one. Also,
sure.
some suggestions, folks. One, what's the pricing? I mean, I'm assuming this can be white labeled, right? So, I mean, when I say white labeled, this is not a .websnap.com, but it can be hosted on my website.
Yes, yes. So yes, so we do give option to host in your custom domain. So once you land into your landing page, you get to see a modal where you can have your subdomain under WebSnap, and you can also have custom domain, which is a premium feature. And apart from that, we also tied up with some partnership to host private videos, which you don't want to specifically host in YouTube.
Will videos which are unlisted also show up, be pulled from this channel?
Yes, yes. Unlisted videos do we get access once you authorize your YouTube channel.
So I could actually have unlisted videos there, which are under like some form of a paywall, but on my own website, but hosted on YouTube.
Yes, yes. So one example, if you we created for one of the famous artists in India. Uh, so if you see this channel, this website, it's little heavy. Uh, so this is whom I worked with Nilesh sir before, and this is how the idea got evolved. This is one of the dark template that I was showing, and there are a lot of videos over here that has not been there in YouTube or probably in a unlisted format. So this is what you are talking about, Ashwar.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Is the primary reason of to do this? So what happens? Will the ads will play like YouTube ads will play like how they play anyway, right? When I'm playing a video here, as in an
So
embedded.
fortunately, fortunately YouTube doesn't play ads on your embedded video. The reason is they don't know what your website is built for, and but YouTube do play display ads. Like if you see the on ad roll ads, they do play on the player.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Abhinav has a suggestion on your back end. Back end design needs to be robust. Was probably due to a lock on DB, but I've copied and pasted that on your unsolved page. Abhinav, you can also share it with him directly on his unsolved page.
Yeah,
See that they're in the spotlight today. He's just suggesting on why this issue may have happened. Karan, as a point, Karan, do you want to just come up and kind of talk about portrait versus uh yeah. Hey, maybe you can stop the screen sharing now, Rajiv.
yep. Hi, Karan.
Okay. Hi, good morning. So, Rajiv, I had a couple of suggestions for you. So, one of the things that we are facing right now is that when we talk about the portrait mode, so whenever we have a video uploaded on YouTube, so that looks very good in landscape. But as soon as
Right,
we upload the portrait mode video, so in that case, the whole layout goes for a toss because the video
right,
is within the center portion. So, when
right.
you have given a layout similar to Netflix, so all the
Hmm.
OTT platforms are all right now just giving you a landscape mode video because they are all consuming the content either through laptops or through
Right,
TV screens. When we talk
right,
about mobile phones, you can have a portrait based layout that is going to take the edge, like that is going to give you very big advantage. There is one more thing that I am concerned about, that is that when we talk about the end screen of the video, when the video
Mhm.
ends, so YouTube generally recommends you other videos from different channels. Like what's up next is basically videos from other channels. Is there a
Yes,
way to
exactly.
do that within our application?
Yes. So we follow a logic of time bound. So whenever we call a video from your channel, we do keep a content history of how long is your video. So in the end, you can add your own experience over here. So that's how we override the end-zone experience. And also,
Okay.
YouTube API allows us to stop. YouTube Players API allows us to stop that through some
Okay.
configuration.
Okay. So using the APIs, you can do that. Now, the next thing I have a concern is that using WordPress, I guess it is very easy to build such a layout because we
Yeah,
have to.
so exactly. So we are not focused on developers or designers who has the knowledge of building websites. We are more focused on storytellers or video creators or marketers who see a lot of things happens with how do you build a layout, right? And the problem with drag and drop is having a sense of kiske baad kya aayega. So that sense, what I understood from my own experience, that sense is limited to the designers or people who create softwares. It's not there in our customers' mind. So we wanted to build a paste and preview approach rather than a drag and drop.
Okay. Now, the next question that I have is that when we talk about channels such as Y Combinator and all, so
Right.
we know that Y Combinator runs all their courses and the videos are uploaded on YouTube. They have got the
Right.
videos that are listed, which are given as a course to the students. Right now,
Right.
you
Right.
were also trying to take the videos of Y Combinator and create a website. How do you check the authenticity and the ownership?
Exactly.
Because
Good
if
point.
you were,
Good point. So we use YouTube API's auth service to authenticate your channel. So until and unless we give a response from the YouTube side, like this is an authenticated channel from your the domain login you are trying to do in WebSnap. As of now, since it's in private beta, what we do every 30 days, we pull off all the channels that we don't came through our sales lead. So that's how we are managing. The authentication label is there. Through auth services, we are handling the verification of the channel.
so authentication is great. That's perfect. Now the next question that I have is that I was trying to have different links that were pasted in the website. So when I
Mhm.
pasted a channel, it was working perfect yesterday.
Exactly. I got it.
When I pasted my own name or when I pasted something with spaces, so I got different responses. So some sort of a validation needs to be there.
Yeah. So YouTube dynamically changes their URL to YouTube channel slash something or YouTube slash user something. Right now we have configured for YouTube slash channels slash your ID.
Right?
We can work with your channel name in future, and
Okay.
this is something related to the URL architecture
So
that we are
without the
accepting.
URL architecture being passed, please block the system because I personally am right now feeling a bit guilty. I think that I have entered so many random variables in the website to create channels that is the reason why the AWS went for it all.
Yeah, valid feedback, pretty valid feedback. We should consider that.
Yes, and like there are more suggestions which I'll probably share in the as we progress in the
Yeah,
session.
sure.
Yeah, perfect,
Thank you,
perfect.
Vishnu. Thank you, Rajiv.
Thanks a lot, Karan.
Thanks, Karan. Thanks a lot. Lot of good question.
Uh, would a user have an option to alter the videos on the website? So actually, one related kind of question, right? Can I actually
Mhm.
mix two channels? Like, what if I
Yeah,
wanted to create, let's say, like there are so many stand-up comic creators,
right,
right? But what if they wanted to pool in their content together and then
right.
charge a subscription fee for that, right? I mean, that felt like a kind of a large opportunity where, longer form stand-up
Hmm.
comedy from, let's
Hmm.
say, 10 different artists is available direct to you using this
Hmm.
website, right? Rather than going to Prime,
Right.
going here, going YouTube, all of that kind of stuff. And if
Hmm.
it's from a conglomerate of sorts, right? I mean, like 10 different guys are coming to create
Hmm.
this content for this, and they
Hmm.
all have their own channels, but they are uploading it on their channel, but it appears here as well,
Hmm.
right? I'm just wondering, I mean, because I feel like some form of cross channel. If I have multiple channels on one website, of course, content increases, more
So,
creators are coming together, right?
right. So YouTube has a policy you cannot monetize on their video. That's a catch over here. But you can monetize on your website. So you can monetize by providing ads on your website. You can. So we tied up with one of the famous stand-up comedian, and what we noticed, instead of going the membership approach, he wanted to sell tickets on their website of his stand-up comedy. So then the entire approach of API integration came, like, should we allow to integrate events ticketing platform or Dropbox, and this all kind of integration support is it required to build. And right now you can do multiple channel authentication under WebSnap. In that case, you have to add a sub user. So, hello, am I audible, guys? Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I think I got a little bit of an issue, but yeah, I got got a sense of this. Um, let's say I think some folks are trying to understand what is the main benefit for a YouTuber. I mean, like, okay, now if you now have to go to a YouTuber and sell this, or you must have talked to YouTubers as well, right? Is it, if you're saying payment can't be done, you can't monetize the video in some way, right? Then what exactly is the what's the core benefit?
No, so you can accept payments. I was saying that you can't do anything over your video player. So the if you see the video iframe, you can't do anything on top of it. But as you
That's fine. Okay.
so we are
So
integrating Razorpay to accept the checkout experience for an order page. So those kind of experience we are enabling for the YouTubers and very small and micro YouTubers.
got it. Folks, anyone who has a suggestion or thing. So one of the challenges that you were saying, Rajiv, is how do you get a lot of these YouTubers kind of checking out what you're building, right?
Right. So marketing is one of our, I think, if you see the team strength is mainly towards UX design and engineering and higher leadership. But if you talk about a leadership among the creators, is some elements that we are missing right now. How do we market to? Right now, I do a lot of telephonic conversation with YouTubers, getting their feedbacks, understanding just seamlessly understanding their pain points, and that's how it's going so far.
Got it. And are you doing this as a global payments kind of product? Like, are you integrated with Stripe and things like that, or are you attempt?
Yeah, so we are in talk with how to integrate Stripe Connect with as an API, but still now it's not live. Obviously, we have seen more global response rather than the Indian market response from this. And in fact, the first few websites like Saras, like the YouTube artist, was actually from outside India.
Got it. I mean, one of the things, of course, you should also attempt doing is probably launching on Product Hunt, right? With a similar-ish kind of one-liner where you just say convert YouTube channels. But I think maybe there may be a lot of go-to-market growth guys here, right? Who are fairly good at the, on the marketing and sales side of things. If anyone has any suggestions, or even if I'm assuming you're open to collaboration as well, right, Rajiv? If someone
Yeah.
kind steps up and solves the marketing piece for you.
Yeah, sure. So we have so far whatever we did is we are very collaborative. So we found out like there are a lot of talent managers in India, and we collaborated with talent managers to reach to the artist, and that's how it's been happening. And some of my friends are YouTubers, so I have chat with them. That's been going on.
Got it. See, one of the ways in which I would look at some form of go-to-market on this is that, of course, you see the, YouTube. I'm assuming YouTube influencer list is easily available, right? Uh, like there must be a YouTube influencer
Yeah,
portal which kind of tells you
there are a
who are
lot.
the top influencers on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I would firstly go there and take up any form of subscription and see how can I use them to reach out to the YouTube influencers. right? So they've obviously created that directory or listing so that they can act as a medium of communication for anyone who wants to reach them, right? So most probably not just a listing, but there is also a reach out possible. So I would just look at that, just see for who's already created this YouTube influencer directory or listing. Go there, look them up, pick one category or niche that you're solving really well today and you're getting traction, right? I mean, it may be fitness, it may be stand up, it may be whatever else, right? Pick that one thing, so that because the reason I'm saying pick one is, when you get one stand-up comedian, for example, to buy, you can now pitch to all other stand-up comedians, that guy's bought it, right? That guy's bought it, that guy's bought it, and they all know each other. Small community, right? So so you'll actually be able to leverage each other. So one sale may be a little hard, but multiple sales after that will become a little easier. So try and pick that niche to start with. Of course, yours is not necessarily a niche. I mean, the niche is really YouTube, anyone creating content on YouTube, right? So so I would just have these as suggestions. I would kind of open it out to other folks as well. Any suggestions around scraping YouTube for emailers of the creators and things like that, cold emails? If anyone's done any of that kind of stuff, that would be interesting from a feedback standpoint. As a YouTube, so I'm just trying to read out some of the questions and suggestions that have been posted here, right? As a YouTube algorithm, you need a certain number of hours of watching on your channel before getting into monetization. Once a creator integrates, would it still count for the overall number of hours? Like like if a person views it on your site versus viewing it on YouTube, of course creators get monetized on YouTube, right? So if they watch it on their site, I'm assuming they don't get monetized.
So, good question. YouTube mostly monetize based on watch hours, like how long your video has been watched, and they do have a lot of algorithms in terms of understanding to what percentage of your video is being watched. And after some hours, you can keep your videos in monetization. Earlier, when the video is being watched on your website, they were not counting this as a watch time. And so mostly we have figured a two different bias over here. Sometimes do they count on some channels we have seen which has higher views, they are counting it as a watch time, but on low end channels which have recently started, they are not counting it as a watch time. So in most of the cases, the USP is about building a brand in the website, selling merchandise, selling finding your own niche on the website. And if you are solely dependent on YouTube advertised monetization, I would not think WebSnap is a good strategy or a way around strategy to build it.
So it's probably not for these monster subscribers and monster
No.
views that folks have on YouTube. A lot of them will probably not shift. But let's say if someone has like 20K subscribers, not really making anything significant of YouTube. So you actually almost have a tier 2 kind of mechanism here, right? I mean, it's almost a tier 2 solution. Or I would still think there is maybe an aggregator model here, right? Like actually what happens if I take someone else's content and put a payment layer? I want to launch a stand-up comedy aggregation, right?
So you can't do that. You have to authenticate, na? You have to authenticate your channel, na, Ishwar. So we are not targeting high-end subscriber channel also. The reason they have a lot of money, they can go to any agency and build their own website. And they probably some have their own small tech team also. So we are mostly focused on 2 to 5 members YouTubers, which is mostly focused on content.
Got it. So you actually don't need the top influencers, you need the in-between guys at some level. The folks who are aspiring. Okay, Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Hey, yeah, interesting one. I mean, unfortunately, I think some of the kinks kind of took a lot of the time away from what we had set aside for the brainstorming. But I'm going to try and see if I can pull up some of the suggestions that I have here. Um, right.
So there are a few good questions actually. Do not target experienced influencers. Interestingly, product and lots of influencers are really look to get out of YouTube and apps, but you are better off to work on backend and make it before adding the features. Sir, in that particular case, already tuck 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 tuck. YouTube API has, yeah. So YouTube API has call limit. Would that be a problem in future? So that is what we have thought of. How do we partner with YouTube to go to a paid API services, and YouTube API has a call limit from a particular Google account, like the Google Cloud account whom you are using to build the application. So there are two ways around thinking of it: providing a private cloud atmosphere to the customer, where we call the APIs from the client's cloud, and in case if it's reaching beyond their limit, and the way we manage the API, I think it's little technical. What I know, there's some sort of throttling. We send one request, and that's how we manage it. Obviously, this is a very valid question we should think of. And there was one other question regarding what if YouTube comes around with some solution. I just lost in between the chat.
That's
So
okay. That's always a question mark, but this is your own domain name, right? It's not a youtube.com kind of domain name. How do you plan to price this? That's something that would be interesting to know. Is it simple
so
SaaS?
it's a right now it's a simple. We are pricing $8 for hosting and one channel, and there are three models what we have thought of. One is a subscription of hosting, the other is a transaction of data, or the transaction of watch based on your private cloud, and the third is based on the premium templates, which we build specifically for you, or probably which is a top-notch templates, designing templates that take a lot of time for us. So these are the three ways we thought of, but right now we are pretty much on a subscription basis for hosting your website. That's it. And
I think depending on the kind of payments that you're enabling them to accept, you could probably take a percentage of that as well. I mean, like,
so
so you
that's
don't.
happened. Yeah, that happens between me and the payment gateway partner, whether it's cash free or Razorpay, depending on the payment. But we don't charge any transaction fees for payment. So the PG gateway charge from you, but we don't charge for that.
I know, I'm just suggesting that you should consider it, because what you're enabling is a very easy way to kind of accept payments, right? And these are digital goods,
Right.
right? At the end of the day, there's no cost of product reproduction, at least, right?
Yeah.
So for them to just say, okay, fine, I'm giving away 5% to a platform that's enabling me to make 95%, right?
Mm,
It's suddenly kind of an easy decision. I mean, it's not such a complex one. Versus if I'm selling a physical good,
mm,
right, then it becomes challenging, because now that's going from my margin. I already have a net margin of just 15 or 20%. Now you're asking me for more, all of that, right?
right.
But in digital goods, that's the thing. So you can actually still pay the payment gateway their 2%, right, and still pull off like a 3% perhaps, right? I mean, you have to still check it out, but
Mm,
I would suggest that you contemplate charging per transaction, right, as well. So I think even Shopify does the fixed plus there is a transaction fee. Just check that out. I'm not completely sure exact pricing model of Shopify, but
mm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, cool. Thanks, uh, Sarvesh. Yeah. So maybe a few more themes is what they suggested, but I guess you're kind of taking care of that from a premium theme standpoint. If anyone else wants to just come up on stage and share anything, I'll just kind of hold on for another 10, 20 seconds. Otherwise, thanks a lot for joining us today. We continue the conversation post this session on the tables. Right, that's what the objective of the weekly brainstorm is, that you also get to chat amongst others who have come in. Right, if Rajiv is free, he'll join as well, just to kind of gather some more thoughts, because not everyone came up here, but a lot of suggestions were left in chat as well. And yeah, that's around about us, about it from us. Any Rajiv, any final kind of thoughts?
So first of all, thanks everyone. Pretty much a lot of good questions over here, and thanks to Sarvesh, even Karan, and even first of all, thanks to Ishwar for giving me this platform and opportunity to speak up. A lot. I'm sorry for the little bit of hiccups, but I request you all go and check WebSnap, and if there is anything, you would feel free to get in touch with me in Twitter or any channels. I'm always there at Biswas6 Rajib, my handle in all these channels. And yeah, thanks everyone. A lot of good feedbacks. I'll take forward these feedbacks and think through. And looking forward to a more engaging conversation with Unsolved.
Rajiv, one more thing. Could you just drop your email also in the chat? Of course, Rajiv is on Unsolved. All of you are on Unsolved, right? So either your email or your LinkedIn, right? Whatever you think
Yeah,
is right.
I'm dropping my
If you
LinkedIn
have an
profile.
email, just drop your email, because you mentioned you have go-to-market kind of issues, right? Growth, go-to-market, marketing side issues. If there's anyone in the audience here who would want to kind of just ping them, figure out something, mutually, please go ahead and do that, right? I mean, I think the whole point of this is to collaborate and kind of get some things. I think they're solved a fair bit. There's more to be solved, right? So let's take it in that manner. And yeah, that one last question I see from Saithe: is there an app as well that a person can get, or is it just
Yeah.
a web app, or is there a
So
mobile app as well?
uh, we have tied up with some startups called Mugli, which builds OTT platform. And since this entire thing has been built on Java, and we are thinking from an end-to-end point of solution. Right now, we have an Android app solution, exactly the same thing that you see in web app. It gets replicated. It will show you sometime. Like I can share those things in Unsolved,
Yeah,
and we share the SDK as according to
got it, got
that
it, got it.
APK file.
Damn cool, damn cool. No, I mean, it is a great solution. I mean, I think a lot of this can even be replicated for the short video format. I don't know if it's as applicable, because on you typical content on YouTube is also educational sometimes, right? Not just entertainment. So, and they're typically longer formats. So it makes sense to have your own website, which causes that engagement. I'm not sure if it can be easily reapplied to a TikTok kind of world or number of the other short video formats out there. But I think it's interesting, just enabling creators um, uh, to kind of get their own web presence. One last question: Instagram Reels. If I create Instagram Reels, can I get that there? I'm assuming not yet. You built this only for YouTube, right?
No. So as I said, the core vision is to have a paste and preview approach of building websites, and we have applied for Instagram videos only, not the post.
Yeah,
And looking to work with Facebook also, to only Facebook videos. So
got it.
something around video creators and only a paste and preview approach.
Got it. We're going to take a break now. We'll head backstage and then kind of just join you folks at the tables. Catch you soon. Thanks a lot for bearing with some of the issues that we had today. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll see you.
Thanks.